G'day guys, girls, whoever may be watching this video. The jzx parked sideways in the garage. You know what that means? That means it's time for work. That gives me a lot of room around the back end here. Hopefully old mate doesn't get his mowers out again like he usually does in my vlogs, but decent job on the car today, or at least attempt to do something decent. So I got a whole kit here of these massive bushes, and these are for the rear subframe. So I brought these from Cube, who did my shifter for me. They get them from a company called Strongflex. I believe they're overseas, but they were quite affordable compared to solid aluminium ones, half the price. Probably not as severe on the car. But these are the yellow ones, so these are extra stiff rather than the red type they also sell. So if you're looking for something a bit more streetable, you can get these in red, which are a softer sort of material. So my plan is to try and do it without taking the subframe out. I haven't seen this done, I haven't read anything about it, I really haven't done too much research on it. I've done a little bit of stuff, but I think the hardest part's getting the bushes out of the subframe. I've already unbolted one corner before and lowered the bush down, and like there was a fair bit of room there to have a go at it. So I think if I undo two corners and one side will droop, I might be able to get to them and drill them out and whatnot, and then just pop these in, because these aren't a press fit, they just slide in with grease and knock in. So getting the old ones out is the hard problem. I just got to get the room around the car to do it, and hopefully I don't have to take the subframe out, because I only have a little jack and I'm by myself, so it makes the task very difficult if I have to pull big bits of car out. Alright, I got the wheel off. So that's one of the bushes there. So once the wheel's off, they're pretty accessible. They're just here. That's the bigger one at the back. So they're like inside here, and this one's up in here. I've undone like one corner before and dropped this down like an inch. There's a lot of thread in the bolts that are in here. So I'm thinking if I do two, it should hang down quite a bit on this side. Hopefully I don't really have to do too much with the drive shaft and exhaust. There's a bit of clearance there. Naturally the shock is wanting to push the whole lot down, so I might put the jack under there and undo the bolts and then jack it down slowly, and hopefully I can just jack it back up when I'm done. So that's my plan. I don't know if it's possible, but it'd be much easier doing a corner or a side by side, so then I don't have to take the whole thing out and drop it on the ground, because it doesn't look fun. So yeah, you can see on my old bushes there's like bit of a gap here. These were spinning. You can see sort of it's been spinning on the body here. That these move quite easily with a screwdriver. So I think there's a lot of play in here, and it's making my car sort of torque steer. This whole rear end's moving around, so this is the whole idea of doing this job. I've undone the front one. It's quite a large bolt that's in there. The jack seems to be taking the weight on the frame here. I could probably go back further to here if I wanted, but this is just holding the suspension up with some pressure. And I'll see what happens when I take this one out and lower it down, see how much room I get. Just looking at it, this back bush is quite possible to do. I'll just zoom in, because it comes from the bottom up, so you would just have to like drill this out or something and pull it all down. Just get enough room there to get that little spacer out, which I only need a little bit more room, and that should come over the lug it sits on, and you could do that one. This one on the other hand is in upside down, so I believe it's from up here down, and I've got like an inch of room up in here, but because it's that way, you've got to pull the whole thing out top ways, so I need a lot more clearance there to get the old one out and the new one in. So I'll see if I can gain some more room there by taking this off. I think this is holding a lot of the weight of it up, so I'll take that off and then see if it drops anymore. Alrighty, I got the little spacers out. I got enough room there by taking that bar off that you can get in here quite a bit. So that's the one that's upside down. When I push on them, they're quite flexible, they're a bit soft, they're brittle, they're sort of breaking apart as I move things on them. So I'm kind of hoping they just break out. This one's going to be hard, like I said, because it's upside down. I can't get a drill in here or any saws to cut it out. So I'm just going to try and lube it up with WD under these lips, and then hopefully bash it and it starts to move, and if it does, find some room, get it out, because that would be a win. And then pretty much same with this one, lube it up, and hopefully I can somehow push it or pry it out. If not, I can drill that one. Alrighty, bit dirty, as usual when working on cars. So yeah, I had some luck. So I got in there. It took me a while to sort of work out the best way to do it, but as you can see, the front bush is out. That's it there. Up inside sort of the mounts that help hold it, there was some cracking. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to see, but yeah, there was some cracks in those bits. It's very brittle, like when I was putting my screwdriver in there, you can see it breaking apart and whatnot. So the best way to get it out, if you want to know, I ended up spraying lube in there, of course, and then working it with a screwdriver. It lifted slightly, and then I got a pair of Stilsons on the bottom of this that stuck out the bottom, twisted the whole thing and spun it. And then when I hit it with a hammer, it just went up. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. So I think that's the hard one because it's the one that faces upside down. So I'll try the next one. Well, firstly, I might as well put my new bush in this one because I can, or I guess I could move on to pulling the big one out before I go and damage a new bush. Yeah, I might do that. And that's the one that faces down, so I can get Stilsons to the top of that one, and hopefully can spin that nice and early, and then probably even jam something in there and just jack the frame up, and it might help push it out. Rest brake, but as you can see, I've got a hammer in there sort of pushing down on one side of it while I'm just prying the bush. Yeah, I've got it to move. It's come down slightly. I could hear it moving, which is a good sign, and I'll just keep at it, and eventually hopefully it'll come. I'll try the Stilsons again on top to try and turn it, and she might come out. Alrighty, bit of a pickle with this one. I ended up drilling the center out, which is just here, but I think that sort of made the thing, or the issues harder, because now I got nothing to push on through the middle to try and get it out, and I thought once that was out it would come, but this has got quite a big steel plate in around it still, and it's quite thick. It's like 2 mil thick, so it's in there really tight. I think the metal goes up right on the inside, so this one's really pushed in there tight. So I'm not sure how I'm getting this out now, so I'm either gonna have to keep destroying it, or like even if the metal is on the outside, I don't know how people would light it on fire to get it out because it's really pushed in there. So I'm a bit stuck with this one. Alrighty, I'm still struggling with this bush. I've drilled it, I've tried using a Dremel on it, but I don't really have any more Dremel bits. I don't have WD, which is one of my main problems. I don't have a lubricant to help slide these bushes out, which is painful. Yeah, I've folded like this edge over, and the metal's quite strong on this one. I've gone up this side with a Dremel and thinned it out, but my Dremel's sort of, there's not much of it left. So yeah, ideally I just want to cut into it a bit and then collapse this bush, the rest of this bush in, and then I'll be able to get it out. But because it's so thick, it's quite strong. So I'm just going to keep prying on it. Really, I need to go get some WD and spray up in there. I think that'll make all the difference, and maybe a pry bar. If I had a reciprocating saw, I'd probably just go in there a little bit, but I might grab the hacksaw and just have a go if I can. Thinking, why don't I go get some WD and some other tools to help me out? I would, but my problem is that this car has a flat tyre and the spare is too small to fit it at the moment, so I can't drive that. This is in the air, and the missus car's obviously not here, so I can't actually go anywhere to get stuff. I'm thinking, like, once this is out, you beauty, like, just clean it up, lube these up with grease, and they should just slide in or tap in, and happy days. I just got to work out which way this bush goes, but yeah, these all fit in there nice and everything. They seem like good quality. So I just got to get this last bit out, and then this side will be done, and then work out a better way of doing the other side. But yeah, like a reciprocating saw would definitely help on this one, I think, because punching that middle out and getting that out with the drill was like 2 minutes, like nothing. But yeah, I haven't got anything to push on now because I took it out. It was a risk I took, and then yeah, not having WD is obviously killing me at the moment. So yeah, I've come to a halt. I tore some of the metal out. Still haven't really budged it. It's probably come a little bit, but yeah, again, without WD-40 and nothing to help it slide out of, I'm sort of stuck. So I'm thinking about buying a reciprocating saw. I'm going to send the missus out to get that and some WD, so then I can actually just cut the rest of this out, because I slipped and I've slice the back of my finger open. So yeah, I'll go for a lunch break now and have a break, clean my finger up, and reassess when I finally own a reciprocating sort of cut things out. I think, yeah, I've pretty much made a slice with a hacksaw, and I could keep going up and down with the hacksaw all day, but with my finger bleeding everywhere and all that, I'll wait for a reciprocating saw, so when I go do the other side I can just get straight in and cut the thing out. Well, still stalled. I've managed to get Nat to buy me some WD-40 and a reciprocating saw, so I can just cut this thing out, because I've got it down to bare metal. I just got to make a slit in it, and doing it with a hacksaw is really awkward. So she's bought one already. She's also got me a pry bar, like I said, WD, so all the little things that I should have had before I done this job, and she's bringing them to me now. But she had to go do groceries, and it's Easter, so she's buying a lot of chocolate. So the wait is ridiculous. I've been walking around in circles, scratching my head like I am now, and I've watered the lawn, I've played with the dogs, I've had something to eat, I've had a coffee. Waiting for this one tool, so it makes my job really easy, is driving me nuts. Got it. Got the big Bertha. This is gonna hopefully cut through the shoulder of it, let me separate it. I got some WD there for the other side. Alrighty, I got it out. Made a mess of it, but yeah, pretty much just cut up this inside with the reciprocating saw. It was hard with the limited amount of room. The car wasn't quite jacked up high enough to fit the saw in there, but I managed to make a slit, then chiseled on my way in, and eventually the WD soaked in and she popped. So definitely have the right tools for this job if you're going to do it. It is possible to do it with the subframe still in the car by the looks of it. I'll slip in the other new bush, grease it up, and bolt this side back together. Alrighty, don't forget to apply grease that comes with them in the packet. I've greased like every face possible, just so I avoid any squeaks or anything like that. I prefer the car to run quiet, and it helps protect everything, I guess, from wearing out quickly. So yeah, they're in. I've just got to come up on the trolley jack. I'll put a bolt in that side, because that little spacer, don't forget that sits on top. That'll clamp in. Then this one has another space that goes in underneath with that bracket I took off earlier. So a couple bolts, and I got to put the shock bolt back in too, because I took that out. And this side will be back together in probably 10 minutes. It's that easy. Alrighty, it's done. They're in, they're bolted up, plates back on. That's it. Put the wheel on, drop it back on the ground, and either give up for the day and do the other side tomorrow, or I'm tempted just to do it now, because I've got all the tools here, and I'm already dirty and sore, so I might as well just keep going. And I've got a few more hours of daylight, so now I've got all the tools here, and WD-40, I think they might even come easier. So we'll try that. If I give up, I give up. It is possible to do your subframe bushes without taking the whole subframe out, so I've learnt that. I haven't seen any videos or find any information on it yet, so I don't know, maybe being the first person to try it. I doubt it, but anyway, the other side could be more difficult because the exhaust runs down that side. It might give me less drop in the subframe, but I can probably loosen it from the hangers and stuff. Alrighty, we're back on the ground. Done. There wasn't much creaking as it sat down, so that was good. The bushes are probably nice and greased. I mean, I could take it for a drive now and see if it feels any different. So one side should be tight, but I don't want to do that. Plus, I'll move this out of the way and like clean up all the floor, and I'll just go start on the other. So yeah, I won't film as much over there. It's gonna be much the same. Any other problems I come across, like exhaust, and if I can't lower the frame as much as I did on this side, I'll let you know. But that's pretty much how the job goes. You just need the right tools and lubricants, obviously, to help those bushes slide out. That's all I can think of. The reciprocating saw did help, but I'm going to try and not use it on this other side. It is quite dangerous. It kicks and bucks, and I'll jack the car up higher off the ground this time, so I've got more room to fit it under there if I do have to use it. Alrighty, moving a lot faster on this side. Probably half hour in, and I've got the real hard bush loose. So pretty much do whatever you can, bash chisels in, twist it with Stilsons, you know, then go up to bigger chisels, and eventually you'll split it. Well, I did touch it with the reciprocating saw, and then got it with chisels the rest of the way, and yeah, eventually she starts to move. So you just got to pretty much destroy it. hopefully that one will be easy like the other side, and I should have this back on the ground in an hour. Got it. Destroyed, but I got it. Clean it all up, put the new ones in. You beauty. There's the back one in. There's the front one in. We're all bolted up. I did some cleaning, but I didn't clean everything. So they're in. I never realized that my top control arm bushes are actually like an olefin or polyurethane type as well. So they've already been done. So there we are, boys, girls. Job's done. I just got to put the wheel back on. Yeah, that's it. So if you're wanting to know if you can change your subframe bushes in the car without taking the whole subframe out and disconnecting drive shaft, exhaust, etc., you can do it. It's quite accessible. It's just a fraction harder because you can't light your bushes on fire and melt them out like most people do. You have to obviously destroy them in other ways. So yeah, saws and chisels and banging away, and you get sore from laying on the ground like I am. But anyway, that's the job done. I'm gonna bolt my wheel back on, put it on the ground, and I'll take it for a drive, and hopefully that's fixed my issue of torque steer, where I'd accelerate and it pulls one way and then floats back the other. So if not, I'm probably going to be quite disappointed, but at least it's a job that's done, and the bushes were pretty flogged out. Alrighty guys, I've had a break, I've cleaned up, I'm absolutely buggered. But yeah, time to take it for a test drive. I'll take it down the highway and see if it pulls. Just even backing out of the driveway then and dropping off the gutter, it actually seemed a lot stiffer, like just the bump. I'm not sure, it might sit a fraction higher because these like bushes have like a sort of a thicker lip on them. I'd have to look at that, so I could possibly lower the car a bit more, but if it drives nice I'll leave it for a while. There's no need to make it rub on my driveway again, but yeah, I'll take it for a drive and see how it feels.
Alright, what the hell did you do to the car?
Well, everyone knows what I've done. First impressions, backing out of the driveway, it just seems the whole rear end seems stiffer. Like the suspension's still there, it's still working, it's not like stiff suspension. It's just a firmer feel in the rear end, just all the little bumps and getting out of the driveway, but I'm yet to sort of test it on anything serious. Side to side feels heaps better, heaps less slop and movement from the rear end. I guess this is how it should be. I wouldn't know, it's been loose for that long. But the acceleration on the highway up here will soon tell me what it's like. And I don't think it's fixed. Fuck.
Ah, shit.
I don't know yet, it's hard to tell.
So we spent all that money and did nothing.
I mean, it's better, but it's not fixed.
There's something chunky there.
Alrighty, so my thoughts are it's a bit noisier. The rear end feels stiffer, like going over bumps, and there's not like there's more clunks, but it's just like more of a solid feel and noise in the back end. Definitely feels better to drive. It's more responsive and less sort of shimmy and float in the rear end.
Just don't show me my pajamas. Why are you showing me my pajamas?
Because I can. So yeah, I think that the sort of torque steer I've got is still there, but it's not as bad, so it must be a combination of things. Because I'm looking for it, I know it's still there, whereas maybe a everyday person, they might not notice it as much, because sometimes I feel like I might not feel it. I don't know, but it's definitely is still there somewhat. It's not bad, but definitely wasn't the improvement I was hoping for. So anyway, if you've got problems with your bushes or noises, or just want to stiffen the rear end up, it's definitely good for that.
Same.
Well, as a passenger, yeah, it probably does feel the same. But yeah, for drifting purposes and that, these firmer bushes will definitely improve the slide, I reckon. Alright, well, if you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. I'll have more videos coming soon. Cheers.